Hey y'all, welcome back to the YouTube channel called Walk With Me. And today's video is called Till the Wheels Fall Off. That's the name of it, is Till the Wheels Fall Off. So basically in this video I'm just talking about choosing something you really believe in, something you truly believe in your heart. It sparks up something in you. Believe with it and truly believe in it. Choose that and see where it takes you till the wheels fall off. So what I'm saying here is basically, you believe in something, but even the things you believe in the most, you still question them sometimes. And there's times where you almost don't believe in it. So choose that thing you believe in it and stick to it. Even in the times you see that belief drifting, keep the faith and watch what you can do. Watch the blessings from above start to show up on earth. Watch the visions from God start to illuminate your mind. And see where that takes you. Not just picking it for now, or for the next 5 years, or for the next 10 years, for 20 years. Not even just for the rest of this lifetime, but have the mindset that I will keep this even forever. I'll keep this belief, I'll keep this faith up forever. Even if I have to die with the faith, never seeing the realization of what I believed in. I keep the faith until I realize that thing that I believe in. And once I realize that thing I believe in, there's no more faith needed, because you don't need faith for something that you've come to see for yourself. Faith takes you to the destination. Once you reach the destination, you can drop the faith. But until then, you must keep the faith. When times get rough, when your mind starts to turn in ways that you don't want it to, when your heart starts to reveal its evil desires within, when temptation starts to dismantle you and show you all how weak you are, you stick to it. When the blessings come, you stick to it. When there's no blessings there, you stick to it. If you are to gain all the money in the world and get rich, you stick to it. If you are to be the poorest man on the city with nothing left in your name, not a dollar, not a dime, not a person on your side, you stick to it. When the whole world is on your side and everyone seems to be on your side, you stick to it. When the whole world seems to turn against you, you stick to it. And what this does is it builds something, because instead of moving with the waves of life, because that's how life works, the troubles come and they kind of try to almost knock you off your ground. They try to knock you off your feet. Temptation comes through and it starts to dismantle your mind. They kind of try to throw you over and throw over everything you built in your mind. It tries to throw it away just for some momentary pleasure. When you're sad and you want to go lay down and go to sleep and eat and just soak in that sadness, you say, no, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. I'm going to do the same thing I did the day before, and tomorrow, in the future, in 10 years from now, I'm going to do the same thing. And as I said before, you stick to it. Well, the Bible has a verse. It says, let me find it. Give me 1 second. He who hears these words can be linked. 1 second. A wise man. It says, therefore, it's Matthew chapter 7, verse 24. Let's see, I don't know what verse, but let's say verse 24 through 29. It says, therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. And the rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against that house, yet it did not fall because it had a foundation on the rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on sand, and the rain came down, the streams rose, and the wind blew and beat against that house, and it fell with a great crash. This puts a light on basically what I'm trying to say here, because when you choose something and you choose to stick to it no matter what, you're building up a strength instead of moving and going with the ways of life and going where your body wants to take you and where your desires want you to go. You don't build your life on that. That may be there. These things still may come, but that's not what your life is built on. Your circumstances don't define how you act tomorrow. Whether rich or poor, you act the same way. You keep the same discipline. You keep the same outlook. Whether you're in a good place or you're in a bad place, whether your mind is happy and peaceful or whether your mind is a terrible thing to be with, you keep this going. And what can happen here is why I say this is because a lot of times people, they start the path right and they start building their life on this, and then they keep going, and then some blessings come in and they completely forget about the thing that they built this on, the thing that was able to have that blessing come into place. They put the blessing before the thing that brought the blessing to them. They forget all about the whole process of what got them to that blessing. That blessings don't just come. Blessings come. Blessings are a reward. And if it's a reward, that means that you must have done something to earn it. So a lot of people start this path and they go this way and they start living right. And the year passes and they see some benefit. 2 years pass, they see even more benefits. 3 years pass and their whole life begins to change. And then you know what they do? They backtrack back to square one. And they go back to the old way of living. And the whole thing crumbles down right before their eyes because they thought that they can get the blessing and not continue to do the same thing that got them to that blessing. So let's really make sure that we remember, whether you're blessed or whether you're surrounded by people or whether it's just you, keep the same outlook and see where it takes you. You'll be amazed to see how much a set way of living can lead you in the exact direction you should be going. When you turn off all the noise from the outside, when you get off your phone for a while, when you get off of Instagram, stop scrolling and filling your mind with all the stuff that's useless. Get off of TikTok, get off of Facebook, get off of YouTube, and just go within yourself, go within your mind, and first step here is to face whatever is holding you back the most, whatever is causing you to fall weak. You figure what that is first. You work through all the because it won't just be a simple process. Your mind will start to go literally insane because it wants what it wants. It wants what you gave it before. Before you allowed it to run wild and have whatever it wanted, you allowed the mind to go and get whatever pleasure it wanted, eat whatever it wants, eat at whatever time it wants to, get whatever pleasure it wants to at any time it wants. And then you just strip that away from it. So you can't expect your mind to remain calm when you just took away everything that it found comfort in. You stripped the comfort away from it. So you're going to have to endure that time and those maybe months or years, however long it takes. Endure those times where the mind starts to break down. It starts to go really insane. It starts to throw fears at you, because basically what the mind is doing is trying to get you to fall back in line. Your mind is trying to get you to go back to that old thing the thing that you want to go to, the desires that you have. Your mind is throwing all types of fears, all types of emotions, all types of confusion. It's trying to do anything it can. It's trying to do anything it can to get you to go back into the place it wants you to go back into, because that's where it finds comfort. But you have to let wisdom guide you and know that Though the mind may turn against me, though the mind is doing this, know that it will eventually calm down. It's like you have a wild animal. You've allowed that wild animal to run in the wild for years. You've allowed it to run in the wild, let's say for 18, 19, 20 years. You've allowed this wild animal to just run in the wild and do whatever it wants. And then you try to take this wild animal and put it inside of a house and expect that wild animal to just be all calm and relaxed. No, it's not going to be calm and relaxed because you allowed it to run wild for however long you allowed it to run wild. So now when you bring it into this controlled environment and expect for it to act sane, it's not going to do that because that's not what it's used to. You've given it the wild. It knows the wild. That's all it knows. That's the same thing with the mind. The mind only knows the wild places you've allowed it to go. And then when you take it out of that environment and try to put it into a calm environment, just because the environment is calm, the mind's not going to be calm with it because it's a wild thing. You've allowed it to be that way. So your job here is to just like they were to tame a wild animal. Let's say you have a wild horse or something. You bring it there, you got to be patient with it. You can't just beat it until it's not, you beating it, is it going to calm the animal down? It's only going to make it more wild. So you have to be patient with it. You have to patiently discipline it. And then, you notice that, okay, the mind was wild. After a year of doing this, it's still pretty wild. After 2 years, it's still wild, but not quite as wild as it was before. I can start to see it calming down now. I can start to see glimpses of peace. I can start to see glimpses of compassion. I'm starting to see glimpses of goodness spring within myself. So now my only thing that I must do now I have evidence that what I am doing works. I have evidence because I've seen it myself. I patiently endured it until I saw for myself that it began to calm down. So that tells me the mind calming down is a sign that what I am doing works. So my only job now is to keep on with this until the training is complete. It's like a training. You're training yourself to be a certain way. It's like a basketball player when they train to become a super good at basketball. LeBron didn't become super good at basketball in one day. It took him years and years of training, constantly training, doing the same shot again and again, the same dribbling drills, the same cardio exercises, the same muscular exercises until he finally trained himself to the point where it became like second nature. So that's what we're doing here. We're training ourselves and living the right way, doing the right thing regardless of what our emotions tell us, regardless of what our mind tells us. We train ourselves to live this way, and eventually, after you do the same thing over and over again every day, you do it again, and then you do it again, then you do it again, then you do it again. Eventually, it begins to come easy. Eventually, the thing that seems so hard at first, so difficult to do at first, becomes just a normal mode of being. Till the wheels fall off. That's the name of this. Y'all have a good one.